Marjorie. Very,
Yeah.
the men were sticking together. Was there some type of, for the men, a certain feeling of, raw, it's a bit mad that she kind of just dropped my man in it just like that, like, because it was 1 minute it seemed like she was really for him,
Right.
and the next minute it wasn't. But obviously, again, we weren't there, so time scales are different. But was there that camaraderie for the men? Did the men feel a certain type of way? Was there that kind of?
I mean, when we all first heard about it, yeah, I could say on my end, I wasn't thinking too heavily about it because there was already a connection with Nyya and I. So at the end, we're still navigating this whole process. The other guys, it wasn't a major discussion like, oh, I just can't believe it, whatever she did it, but it still was kind of a shock because that was ideally the only person that she truly was connected with, outside of me. And I was still kind of, here and there, hit or miss. So it did take people by surprise, but not to the point where, we were just all, adamant about getting her out of there, because I think even when they showed, her exit, that wasn't anything that we had did on our end. That was, and I even spoke about it during the reunion show. They may or may not show it, but, I even told Tommy, I said, somebody was in your ear, because when we were trying initially the collective vote was initially for Simone. Because at that moment we started noticing certain things about how she was, moving about the process, and it just seemed like she was bouncing from person to person only for the sake of staying on the show. And so, I mean, literally, we all collectively had said her, and then somebody said something in Tommy's ear, and they posed another question. They presented another question, and it was almost forcing us to answer a certain way, like, no, I don't have a romantic connection with Nyya. Yes or no, no, I don't have a romantic connection with Nyya. So when they got those answers, that was enough to be able to justify, oh, she's going to be the next person voted out. Because it really was supposed to be Simone, and then eventually Nyya probably would have got voted out. Because when you think about it, it's not about, regardless if you have a connection with somebody or not, if you only have one connection with somebody, you're probably going to get voted off the show. Like when you think about KG, a lot of times people think that KG got voted off because Nyya may not have been fighting for him, but even she was the only person that ideally was checking for KG on the romantic side of things. And so with her being that only person, if everybody else said, oh, KG's a great guy, I love him to death, but he's more of a friend, then that's going to be a no. He's going to get voted off. And that's kind of how the position that I play is. When you think about it, at some point in time, I think I may have been at the bottom of everybody's list, but it was still enough to be able to still make it to the next round. And that's why I tell people, I say, you may not have saw me, but Chef Edwin was still back there cooking something in the kitchen.
So basically, what we're saying here is that production was trying to get this girl for real. She was right. I mean, I didn't discount on that, to be honest.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Okay, so it does corroborate her story. That she was. They kind of played it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Because if you notice, when she got eliminated, I think there's a scene where she tells the group or whatever that she's gotten eliminated off. I'm not in the mix of that group. They sent me back to my room. A part of me feels like they sent me back to my room because I probably was going to say something. Because at that moment, I said something later that night, and production kept coming to my room, and they were like, oh, are you okay? Or you can't handle the process? I said, look, ain't nothing about this process that difficult that I can't handle. It's the simple fact that it's something shady going on. Like when we have collectively decided on a certain thing, like I thought that this is a very unscripted show. Like there's really no script, but at the same time, I also believe that there are interjections that are made to be able to try to maneuver and create this and say that. So I can't say that everybody on the show didn't catch the bait or, bite the bait of something that the production was trying to do, but they can't force you to be able to do anything. But I think some people did. And so that's how, I think that's the reason why I went to my room and I stayed there the whole night when Rashid had explained to everybody that Nyya was getting eliminated. Because I think they knew I would have said something. Yeah, I know. It's I wouldn't have expected it for the Oprah network, but I'm like, obviously, you got to get ratings and you got to do something. So
I don't do tea, guys, but the tea's hot right now.
Jesus, take the wheel.